Anthony Davis trade. More tough news for the Mavs. Kyrie Irving suffered a left knee sprain last night, shot free throws for the Mavericks with tears rolling down his cheeks before leaving the floor in obvious pain late in the first quarter of Dallas's loss to the Kings. The Mavs provided no post-game updates on the nature of Kyrie's injury. Shannon, as we wait for more information, just what's your reaction on everything going on with the Mavs?
Can it get any worse for the Mavs? Everybody's upset. Everybody in Dallas is upset that the trade, Luka for Anthony Davis, okay, you make that trade, everybody's upset. You seem to be invigorated because you get Anthony Davis, and he's playing well through three quarters, and then he gets injured. Okay, Kyrie is trying to carry the load. We understand it's an uphill battle because you're without AD, you're without Gafford, you're without Lively. Okay, fine. But Kyrie, just keep us in the game. Do what you can. Mm-hmm. Now he's injured. They're already in the 10th slot, if I'm not mistaken. If Kyrie's gone, there's no Anthony Davis. Where are you going to be able to get consistent scoring to keep pace, to keep you in play-in contention, let alone the 6th seed, so you don't have to worry about the play-in? They're trying to stay in 7 through 10 so they can get into the play-in. I just don't see how they stay in the play-in tournament unless AD comes back in the next couple of days and he goes haywire, which we know he's capable of doing. We know what Anthony Davis represents. He's been a first-team All-NBA player. He's been a multiple-time All-Star, so we know what he can give you. But it's just hard for me to see a scenario without AD, without Kyrie, and those other two bigs, them doing anything. It can't get any worse. It cannot get any worse for the Dallas Mavericks. The worst thing that could have happened, as we're starting to see it unfold, guys, is starting to unfold. I feel bad for Nico Harris, man. Lord have mercy.
I feel very bad for Nico Harris. Obviously, making a trade, how do you get the fans to forget about a trade and letting a player of Luka's caliber go? Whatever you bring in, you're hoping they make the fans forget, and he puts up production and numbers on the court. AD goes down, he goes out. So what do you have to put butts in the seat? You still have Kyrie Irving, who is obviously lights out. For them to be in playoff contention, they need someone to be able to score, be able to facilitate the ball, and can take over at any given time in a game. Now Kyrie Irving goes out. He's hurt. I'm not for sure how long. Just like you said, AD can come back. Depending on when he comes back, he can come back and he can light it up. He can have night after night and be consistent, from the field. But will he have time to do it, to keep them in contention and to make the playoffs until Kyrie can come back? That is highly doubtful.
Perk?
Everybody needs to just keep a cool booty, right? Kyrie's out, AD's out. I get all that. Nico Harrison, he is in a good place right now. Here's why he's in a good place. If I'm Nico and I'm the Dallas Mavs, front office or whatever, I shut down Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis for the rest of the season, and I get ready for next season. I said this when they traded for Anthony Davis and traded away Luka Doncic. This team is set up in a 2 to 3 year window to deliver a championship. They will re-sign Kyrie Irving this offseason. And guess what else they're going to try to go do? They're going to try to go get a Kevin Durant from Phoenix. And we see how things are going on in Phoenix. So now you're coming into the season next year for sure with a Kyrie Irving and an Anthony Davis as your duo. And then you add in the athletic bigs and Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. Now you're able to get a training camp under your belt, but they have to win a championship in the next 2 or 3 years. I believe they've set themselves up and put themselves in position to do that. But shut those two guys down for the remainder of the season.
Perk, shut them down.
But what about
How
right now?
are you going to shut them down? AD, 1 second. AD is supposed to come back by the time of the playoffs. Right. Kyrie, we don't know. It's just a knee sprain. It's not like this is a lost season. This is still a strong competitive team.
But Motley, believe it or not, at one point in my life, I used to have some abs, okay? I used to actually have abs. I know I'm a little overweight now, but I actually had the same injury that Anthony Davis had, okay? And you have to be careful with that injury. Anthony Davis decided not to have surgery, right? He decided to rehab it. Okay, I get all that, but you still can't rush that process. And I think he's out for about another maybe 2 to 3 weeks. It's only a month and a half left in the season. Okay. So you're asking Anthony Davis to come back off an injury like that at the highest level of basketball to play in, which is no guarantee because you're not going to be in the 6th spot, so it's not going to be a guaranteed postseason spot. So you're asking him to come back just to be in the play-in tournament. It makes zero sense. And listen, with Kyrie Irving, how bad that looked last night, even if it is a left knee sprain, let's just say he's most likely going to be out 2 to 3 weeks if it's that. Okay, again, it's only a month and a half. Is it worth risking it? Absolutely not. This team is set up for the next 2 or 3 years. So you have time. You have an off season. So you have next year to have those guys healthy. And I'm going to say this last, Molly.
Yeah.
I remember last postseason, I was on here saying the same damn thing about Joel Embiid. And people called me everything but a child of God. And here we are today. Here we are today.
That's fair.
We
I'll
are
give you
today.
that. Listen,
Okay.
when you explain the injury, it makes a little more sense. But at first, it did sound like a little preposterous. Shannon?
But here, Perk, I get what you're saying, but that's still not going to keep the natives from being restless because you traded Luka and you see what the Lakers are doing with Luka. So they're like, okay, we don't really like the trade, but AD came in and AD, what he had, like 26 and 14 in like 27 minutes. And so he's like, okay, we can get behind them. It seemed like he and Kyrie had a great chemistry. They were going to be able to, the lob threat, put you in the pick and roll. AD can pick and pop. He can pick and roll. He got 3 range. He can make free throws. We know what Kyrie is. But now you lose all of that. They're not gonna be able to hold. I think they're 10th, maybe they're 11th now. They're not going to even stay there. They might end up finishing last in the Western Conference. So I get what you're saying, but we're talking about right now. Look at where they are. They're 10th.
Yeah.
Nah, they're not going to be able to hold that spot. And if that's the case, I work. But that does not quell the restlessness that the angst that they feel in Dallas because Luka and they see the Lakers are the 2nd seed. They were 7th. And here we're in a prime position. We were like 5th or 6th, and now we slid all the way to 10, and we're probably going to slide to 12, 13 because AD and Kyrie doesn't seem to be coming back within the next 7 to 10 days. But I feel bad. I feel bad for the Mavericks organization because had they continue to play like they were playing, Perk, and you get the 5th or 6th seed, they make a deep playoff run. It's like, okay, maybe we can do something. But with this is the worst possible thing that could have happened to the Mavericks. The absolute worst, given what they just did in trading Luka.
Listen, not only the worst possible thing, but also what Perkins telling them to do. You shut down Kyrie, you shut down AD in hopes of having a training camp next year and doing things with the chance of getting Kevin Durant. So does that mean within that 3-week window that they do have? What happens if you don't win an NBA championship? What happens if it doesn't happen?
Then we have a deeper conversation. But you can't sit up here and tell me with this roster currently constructed healthy that they don't have a legit shot. Nothing is guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Nothing is guaranteed. But let's not act like they didn't set themselves up for a great shot to actually go and win the NBA championship. Because that duo between Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis is definitely going to be something special to watch, and it's going to be unstoppable.
Wait a minute. Were they not in the finals last year? I'm just curious.
They were in the finals last year.
Okay.
We're talking about with the roster that they have right now.
I understand, but understand why the fans are mad. You understand? AD's out. Now Kyrie's hurt. But the main focal point, one of the main reasons why you even made the finals last year, you let him walk because of internal issues based on how you don't like the way he operates away from the game of basketball, not what he does on the court.
Look, Ocho,
now it's not making any sense.
Ocho, you're arguing with yourself. I just said when I started, if you was listening, I said that in the next 2 to 3 years, the Dallas Mavericks have to win a championship.
Oh, have to.
They have to.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yes, I said that.
All right, Shay, final word here.
Baby.
But you said, but Perk, you're factoring in. At what point you do have to factor in AD's injury history. You have to factor in Kyrie's injury history. Now, this is what we know. You keep talking about KD, but KD's had 2 stops since Golden State, and that has not equated into a championship. So there are no guarantees that if you get Kevin Durant,